All right, here's my wheelhouse. If some of you may already know that Historic New England has a CO2 run facility, and I think it's super cool. I came in, we've been running a facility like this for 25 years. I came in about 8 years ago, and we upgraded the whole thing, so I got to know it from the bottom up. It's another form of controlled atmosphere. It is not anoxia, and so the efficacy is not through the lowering of the oxygen, although the oxygen is lowered. It is the concentration of CO2. So we're actually at oxygen levels, we're only at 4 to 6%, which is not sufficient if it were anoxia. As CO2, just a brief rundown of how that works physiologically with the insect. Their breathing apparatus are kind of like they're called spiracles, and they open up to take in oxygen and release CO2. It's that physiological action that makes anoxia effective, and the CO2, there's some reason to believe that CO2 may even be more effective. They desiccate, and so they become like kind of like hard little nuts from the treatment. Very effective, very safe. I can't say enough about it, but I probably shouldn't run endlessly. We humidify the gas as it goes into it can be CO2 is very dry, so we humidify it so that we don't drop RH dramatically, which can be damaging to materials. We have lots of monitoring equipment. We track the conditions of the atmosphere through the course of the treatment, and this is because we provide services to outside clients. I'll just go ahead and say that now. We've got literature here if anybody wants to know more. So we can show the client, yes, we've hit the numbers that we need to hit. And then the really cool thing is I can be on an installation up in Maine, and on my smartphone I can log in to the laptop and get real-time data on what's going on in the atmosphere of the chamber, which is like super cool. I love that. And some of our peripheral, we have a supplemental heat system, and so part of what increases the efficacy is bringing up the temperature in the room. If we can get it up to 80 degrees plus or minus 5, that increases the efficacy, so the insect will stay awake, and rather than if it got too cool, they might hunker down and survive treatment. And so this can allow us to do a 2-week treatment cycle if we can confirm that we've maintained 80 degrees plus or minus. Again, this is what the system looks like. Operating 1,000 cubic feet at a time we can treat, which is pretty sizable. And that's why folks come to us when they have volumes of material, more than just a tabletop treatment. And they need to, I often get people sort of really in a panic when they need to come to me. And then here's nitrogen argon. Now this is going back to anoxia. These are really the sort of superstars of treatment. So basically, again, we're getting back to anoxia, so that seal needs to be really tight. Nitrogen is very non-toxic. It's very light gas. Argon is very dense. It's a little more costly, but the same basic concepts are the same from like the oxygen scavenger systems. Putting this in a nutshell. Pesticides, well, we really try not to whenever possible. Although there are some applications that we use at Historic New England, and we use it in areas where collections are not. And particularly, we have these old houses that have voids that are like empty attics and voids that run down through chimneys. We've done some very preliminary applications of pesticides, confirming that the ventilations are not distributing the pesticides into the collection areas, because again, that can cause residue, and the conservators really don't